Hey, blessings. Welcome to today's Law Enforcement Daily Devotional. We are in Numbers 32 and 33. After wandering in the desert for 40 years, they finally get to the doorsteps of Canaan and the land that God has promised Israel. And you would think that all the Israelites would be so excited to finally be moving in. And we see that the Reubenites kind of lead this little group in this desire to just, hey, we want to stay on this side. We don't really want to cross the Jordan. We want to put our flocks and our herds right here on the side. God lays out the borders for this new nation, and they're going to stay outside. It's just a really interesting chapter and an interesting way of starting this moving into the promised land. And we'll see later on that not just the Reubenites, but the Gadites, the tribe of Gad, also wants to stay. And then towards the end, there's this group, this smaller tribe, and they're called the Mecharites, but they're part of the tribe of Manasseh, so it's called the half tribe of Manasseh. But these 2.5 tribes decide to stay outside the borders. They're still included with Israel and whatnot, but Moses tells them, okay, you can do this, but from this point on, whenever we go into battle and we start clearing out Canaan for all the other tribes, you guys have to lead the battle. And they agree to it, and they stay true to their word. We'll see this going on throughout Joshua for a long time. So, it all works out well. I can be honest and tell you I don't understand it, but it is the way it is. And a lot of times things don't work out the way that we think it should. And this is a good example of that. But anyway, chapter 33, we see just a history of the Israelites and their travels. And for a traffic investigator, this would be like finding the black box of a car, the GPS history of the route that they took. And so this chapter spells that out, and it's really interesting to see all the movement of the tribe of Israel. Then chapter 33, verse 55 is something that will stay with us. It stayed with Israel from this point all the way through history, and it will continue this way until Christ returns. And that is this fight for the land within the borders that God gave them. People are going to try and take over Israel and push them out from now on. But it's an interesting statement that says, but if you will not drive out the inhabitants of the land, and those you allow to remain will become barbs in your eye and thorns in your sides. They will give you trouble in the land where you will live. So God says, look, if you don't drive these people out, they're going to be around forever. And they are. We'll see in Joshua that they never actually completely cleared out Canaan of all the pagans. They're living there today. And Israel is having lots of problems today and always will until Christ returns. So tomorrow, we're in Numbers 34, 35, and 36. Read ahead, come back tomorrow, and let's discuss the end of Numbers. So you guys be safe.